The recent developments in Niger, led by General Abdul Rahman Tchiani, have resulted in the expulsion of several foreign ambassadors, including the French ambassador, the U.S. ambassador, and the Nigerian ambassador. This expulsion stems from the refusal of these ambassadors to attend a meeting called by the new foreign minister, indicating their non-recognition of his authority and, by extension, the authority of General Abdul Rahman Tchiani. Consequently, the expulsions were deemed necessary. All three ambassadors were given a 48-hour notice to leave Niger Republic. However, France is currently the only country refusing to comply. Despite the U.S. Ambassador having arrived a week prior, they swiftly evacuated with a large contingent of U.S. citizens and other servicemen. It remains unclear whether the Nigerian ambassador to Niger Republic has returned to Abuja. Of the three ambassadors facing expulsion, only France contends that they lack the authority to expel diplomats. This situation raises concerns, as it appears that France may be seeking a pretext for a potential military intervention in Niger Republic. Currently, they lack a legitimate reason for such action and are seemingly banking on the possibility that ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, will intervene, just as they did in Côte d'Ivoire in the past. Notably, the intervention in Côte d'Ivoire had UN backing, whereas there is no UN resolution in place for Niger Republic at the moment. This means that France may struggle to justify invading a sovereign country without international support. France's refusal to adhere to Nigerian authorities' demands could be interpreted as an attempt to provoke a response, potentially providing them with a reason to intervene militarily. The military leadership in Niger had previously declared the withdrawal from military agreements with France when they assumed power. France, however, claimed that they did not recognize the Nigerian military as the legitimate government, and thus had no authority to withdraw from these agreements. This dispute is reminiscent of the current situation, with France's ambassador defiantly remaining in Niger Republic. It's essential to view this situation as if a visitor were welcomed into one's home and later asked to leave. The visitor has no right to refuse or question the homeowner's authority. Similarly, France's refusal to acknowledge the authority of the Nigerian military could lead to a diplomatic crisis. Emmanuel Macron's strategy in Niger Republic appears counterproductive, as he refuses to negotiate with the military leadership while also refusing to leave the country. This stance creates unnecessary tension, suggesting a potential intention to forcibly remove them regardless of the consequences. The Nigerian military may use France's refusal to leave as a rallying point to garner more support from their citizens, even among those who initially opposed the military takeover. Regardless of one's stance on the coup, the current authority in Niger is held by the military, and this reality cannot be ignored. Furthermore, it's worth noting that France's support for some democratic governments in Francophone countries with questionable records demonstrates their willingness to overlook certain actions to maintain influence. The military's intransigence in negotiations may be attributed to unfavorable terms in previous agreements that primarily benefited France rather than Niger. Looking at the ongoing protests near the French military base, there is a growing concern that these demonstrations might escalate into violence if left unchecked. It would be wiser to prevent such a situation by France leaving Niger Republic for the time being. This would allow the country to manage its affairs independently. Perhaps, when Niger has a democratically elected government in the near future, negotiations can resume. It's important not to make it evident to the world that France's economy heavily relies on Niger Republic. This perception undermines Niger's sovereignty and suggests that France can't function without Niger. The current stance of ECOWAS has shifted from initial threats of military intervention to emphasizing the pursuit of a peaceful resolution. However, there's still an undertone that suggests a willingness to impose their will on Niger. This approach may stem from a perception of Niger as a weaker, poorer nation. Comparatively, if a similar situation occurred in a larger country like Nigeria, it's unlikely anyone would threaten military intervention. It's vital for ECOWAS leaders to remember that their role should be to persuade Niger to return to democracy and advocate for the benefits of democratic governance over military rule. Mentioning military forces and equipment in their rhetoric may not be the best way to facilitate a peaceful resolution. Meanwhile, General Abdul Rahman Tchiani has authorized the possibility of Malian and Burkinabe soldiers joining the Nigerian military to defend their country in case of an ECOWAS military intervention. There are also reports of a Russian transport plane heading to Mali, raising concerns about potential reinforcements. The situation remains unpredictable, and all military operations carry inherent uncertainties. It's imperative for ECOWAS leaders to prioritize peaceful negotiations and avoid military intervention, keeping the welfare of ECOWAS and Nigerian citizens in mind. Rather than considering military options, ECOWAS should focus on diplomacy, encouraging Niger to establish a transitional government that would last no longer than a year. This would pave the way for a return to democratic rule, fostering a commitment to serving the people, upholding human rights, and curbing corruption. The goal should be to build a democracy where all government branches are independent, citizens' rights are respected, and leaders prioritize national development over personal gains. Citizens across ECOWAS member states should voice their concerns to their representatives in the House of Assembly or National Assembly, expressing their opposition to any military intervention in Niger. Public pressure can influence their leaders' decisions, as evidenced by the Nigerian National Assembly's resolution condemning military intervention in Niger. This call for action isn't limited to ECOWAS citizens. Anyone worldwide can lend their voice to condemn such actions and hold leaders accountable. The situation in Zimbabwe also warrants immediate condemnation and attention. Recent elections were marred by irregularities, and the opposition faces persecution. The African Union should swiftly respond and ensure that elections are free and fair. Africans should stand united against any form of internal colonization, as independence was hard-fought and should not be undermined by the actions of a few. It's essential to address these issues promptly to prevent further escalation. If you are watching our video for the first time, I suggest you subscribe to our channel for more interesting and captivating information. Turn on the bell notification to get alert on all our recent posts so you won't miss out any. Share your thought in the comment section and share these videos with family, friends, and concerned Nigerians. Thanks for watching.
Yes, democracy is very tough to manage, but it's the best form of government.